This evening, MOPI to rehabilitate PURUNI Trail. JAGDEO calls for racism to be criminalized. Local NGO to host community dialogue in Sofia. In the region, thousands of Haitians protest corruption and rising living costs. And internationally, SUDAN'S university professors leave country to flee poverty. Greetings to our viewers in Guyana and around the world. Today is Friday, February 8, 2019, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. In this report, we learn that the village of Great Falls will soon have access to the World Wide Web. Here's George Gonzalez to tell us more.
The village of Great Falls on the Demerara River is slated to be the latest community to be given internet access courtesy of the Ministry of Public Telecommunications. This week, several government ministers visited the community ahead of the construction of two brand new information communication technology hubs. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sidney Allicock, emphasized the importance of having access to the World Wide Web.
As long as we have information, we would have knowledge. And if you have knowledge, knowledge is power. And if you know what to do with this power, if you use it right, you will become a powerful community, whereby developing a powerful nation.
One of the buildings will be constructed at Great Falls, while the second will be built in 58 miles. The two buildings will be constructed for a total of $2 million through the Presidential Grant Fund. The Tusha of Great Falls echoed the sentiments of many of the residents of the community.
That is a big step for our children because our interior child, they don't know nothing about computer, they know about the phone and so like certain thing, but at least that would boost them up.
Minister of Public Affairs Dawn Hastings Williams was also on hand for the visit. She handed over a computer and a printer to aid in the effort. The two community ICT hubs are expected to service a total of 300 residents of the two communities and their surrounding settlements. The National Data Management Authority will be tasked with setting up the computers and solar panels for the buildings, while the structures themselves will be constructed by the Village Council. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Traffic ranks stationed at the Bartica Police Station yesterday conducted a road traffic exercise where they distributed over 100 traffic aids and flyers to motorcyclists, pedestrians, and pedal cyclists. The RAGs also took the opportunity to interact with motorists, enlightening them on the safe use of road and to remember the 5 C's. Pedestrians were briefed on the use of pedestrian crossing, wearing bright-colored clothing at night for safety and other safety matters. And in other news from Region 7, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is preparing to rehabilitate the severely damaged PURUNI Trail. George Gonzalez tells us more.
Some relief is coming to the residents and miners of Bartica and their surrounding environs. This morning, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure informed the public that a contract has been signed for the rehabilitation and construction of the Itabali to PURUNI Road, and actual works shall commence within the upcoming weeks. Given the level of deterioration the road is currently experiencing, the ministry has taken the decision to bend the rules to the benefit of the hinterland residents. The statement explains. While the responsibility for this road falls specifically under the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure has recognized the urgency of repair and assures that all efforts are being made by the ministry to advance the efforts of the GGMC to have this road rehabilitated. The ministry further expresses its apologies for the constant delays and the difficulties experienced by the commuters. The news of the repairs comes just days after news of the death of a 64-year-old Bartica woman who was stranded on a stretch of road for close to 2 days. Patricia Joseph, known as Patsy of West Indies Housing Scheme Bartica, was traveling to her workplace at PURUNI Back Dam, where she was employed as a cook at a guest house. An autopsy performed on Wednesday at the Bartica Hospital mortuary gave her cause of death as ruptured arteries. According to the daughter-in-law, the pathologist explained to the family that the condition could have arisen from stress and fatigue. Prior to this, members of the community have complained about the state of the road, claiming that large parts of the road have been rendered unpassable for most passenger vehicles. In 2017, the government rehabilitated large portions of the trail, but usage by heavy trucks have greatly damaged the road over the past year and a half. Nonetheless, the ministry reiterated its commitment to the mining community and residents of Bartica. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, JAGDEO calls for racism to be criminalized and local NGO to host community dialogue in Sofia. But first, here are today's foreign currency exchange rates.
For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
It's knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from the credit, buddy? I recommend that you from blah blah. Let me actually gain, but it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back because she money from Fab 5.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's the dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Welcome back. Local NGO, Sofia Community Development Association, is preparing to host a dialogue session with the residents of Sofia. Esther Sobers sat down with the director of the program and filed this report.
The Sofia Community Development Association, a non-governmental organization, will be conducting a community dialogue with the residents of Sofia on Saturday. SUDA is dedicated to the development of the community of Sofia through various programs focused on empowering youths. In an interview with Headline News, the project manager of SUDA elaborates on the importance of such an event.
The organization's mandate is to improve the well-being and livelihood of persons living in the catchment area. But of course, we work along with persons living further afield. So the organization was created to fulfill this mandate. And the dialogue that we're going to have tomorrow, which is going to be at the Sofia Training Center at 3 p.m., starting at 3 p.m., it seeks to start the conversation where persons living in the community could, one, they could state some of the challenges that they're faced with, but also more importantly, they could suggest solutions.
The event, which will be held at the Sofia Training Center from 3 p.m., is likely to attract 200 persons from Sofia, along with several public officials who will be addressing the plight of the community.
Extended invitations to the Minister Simone Brooms. We would have extended an invitation to Mr. Leslie James, the Commissioner of Police. We have extended invitations to members of the private sector, persons representing USAID, and of course a lot of community stakeholders, including the councillor and other persons that are very key in community work, especially in the Sofia catchment area.
So the invitees are for the poor residents in Sofia, along with other persons who may be of influence that can speak to the residents in solving solutions.
Definitely so. So persons coming out, they could ask questions of the government officials, they could ask questions of your municipal representative, questions as it might relate to security, you could ask them of the security representative. So one is to give a person a chance to raise their concerns, but they could also ask questions of their representative, whether it be at the government level or at the municipal level.
And if someone is watching at home that is not a Sofia resident, or may not be a dignitary or a minister, or they may just have some sort of advice that they want to share to the residents, can they come along as well?
Certainly so. I would recommend that you be at the training center at 3 p.m. sharp.
SUDA has been providing the services to the community for the past 3 years. They are known for bringing positive changes in the life of people through CSEC night classes, numeracy and literacy program, and others. With a long-term plan to make a change in Sofia, the NGO is hoping to garner financial support from the public.
You could reach me on Sydney, SIDNEY_Nelson @yahoo.com, or on my direct line, it's 669-0821. You could also reach the organization via its email address, and it's socda.projects@gmail.com, SOCDA.projects@gmail.com.
For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. As the general elections approaches, opposition leader JAGDEO calls for the criminalization of racism. Here's Wendell Jeffrey with more.
So we've been calling on the ERC to take more strident positions, in fact, to seek prosecution of people who are engaged in stirring up racism and polarizing our people. We have been calling.
Former President JAGDEO said that a delegation of the top brass of the PPP recently met with the Ethnic Relations Commission, the ERC, and is requesting of them that they criminalize activities born out of racism, activities which seek to divide the Guyana people. JAGDEO was speaking at the time at his press conference yesterday at the party's opposition headquarters on Church Street border.
We have been calling on the ERC to do this, not just a recent call, but I've done this several times.
The former president has himself oftentimes been accused of stirring up racial tensions and has even been charged with same. In May 2015, he was hauled before the Sparanda Magistrate Courts, charged with racial incitement over some remarks that he had made a few months earlier while the featured speaker at the PPP's Babu Jan's Amphitheatre in Port Morant, Berbice. JAGDEO has said that the statement was taken out of context. According to court records dated up to March 2017, that case is still pending. The PPP's General Secretary said yesterday that while the people can stymie the work of the ERC.
I also said to them, all their work on racial harmony and this campaign that they have could be undone by wild people. And you have a lot of them out there in the public space.
JAGDEO said that the state newspapers, the Guyana Chronicle, is one such entity that fosters and incites racism.
Chronicle, for one, we mentioned the state newspaper, how the state newspaper is being used to stir up hatred among people, stirring up hostilities among people, and on a consistent basis promoting disharmony among our people, repeating the claims, the rumors, like the PVP killed 400 young Afro-Guyanese.
The former president, who was the head of state when most of those killings took place, has maintained that those killings were not the work of his government. He said that several Indo-Guyanese and police were also killed during that time, and the notion that his government is guilty of those killings is simply not true.
Repeating these outlandish rumors in the state newspaper, which they know is not true.
JAGDEO said that not even the current president, David Granger, believes that his government was responsible for those deaths. The General Secretary said that if Granger had believed that the PPP was responsible for those heinous killings, he, Granger, would have done what he is known for doing. He would have held a commission of inquiry about those deaths.
It has been disproved 100 times before, and we've made it clear if the president thought it a priority, he would have acceded to our request and hold a commission of inquiry about those deaths, which he didn't do. He held commissions of inquiry about everything else.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, thousands of Haitians protest corruption and rising living costs. And Sudan's university professors leave the country to flee poverty. But before that, here's this week's bridge retraction schedule.
Place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225 5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Switch over to GTT right now, no. Because all this time and money I waste on a cars alone can just send up my blood pressure.
You've come to the right place.
Really?
Once you're switched over with our network, you can activate our Fab 5 plan. With our Fab 5 plan, you can enjoy free unlimited calls with 4 family and friends.
You got to be kidding me.
You will also get 5 gigabytes of data with 250 text messages.
You got to be kidding me.
And your chosen 4 can also call you for free.
You got to be kidding me.
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. The political situation in Haiti has been tense for years, and now, amidst rising cost of living, persons have taken to the streets in thousands to express their anger with the current condition of their nation.
33 years after Haiti ushered in democracy, this is how the country marked the day, not with celebration, but with huge protests. Anger at President Jovenel Moïse over alleged corruption and the economy has led to months of demands that he resign. Moïse Jean-Charles, an opposition head, is leading the charge.
The people can't take it any longer. We've spoken to the president, but he doesn't understand. We can't stay in this situation. We've decided to see it through to the end. There will surely be a revolution in the country.
Throwing fuel on the fire, an increasing cost of living. Inflation soared in December, and earlier this week, the government declared a state of economic emergency. Protesters say they are fed up and that the country could explode at any moment.
We have a little minority, rich people in this country, running this country, earn everything, and we have the massive population dying, hunger, and misery like this. It's impossible.
President Moïse has insisted he won't resign. Now the opposition says if he won't hand over power, it will name an interim president in the coming days.
And in international news, Sudan's economic and political crisis is having a deep impact at all levels of society. And it is not just dividing public opinion, but also members of the same household. A group of professors is putting forward a political plan which they say could get Sudan out of its crisis. But these intellectuals say they are used to being ignored. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Val reports from Khartoum.
Abdu Mukhtar once thought his hard-earned middle-class status was secure. Now he says it's under threat.
I'm a university professor, but my salary is no longer enough, so I've started using my car as a taxi. It's the same economic condition behind these protests across the country.
Mukhtar stops at Khartoum University to join a group of professors who are putting forward a political roadmap which they say could get Sudan out of its crisis.
Right now, Sudan is trying to get out of its present situation through a peaceful transition of power. So we need to discuss why Sudan has failed to introduce the culture of political alternatives. Why are we speaking about it now when we could have done so right after independence?
High hopes there, but low expectations here because these intellectuals say they're used to being ignored.
So many initiatives like this one have been launched, but the government listens to and gives prestigious status only to those who carry arms. Intellectuals are never considered worthy of such privilege.
Such feeling of neglect, a constant suppression of freedoms, and an ever-worsening economic situation have pushed thousands of Sudanese professionals to leave the country in search of better opportunities. Those include more than 50% of Sudan's university professors.
The one-sided vision of our politics leaves opponents with only two options. You either accept to be sidelined or you leave the country.
Being sidelined is the option that Abdu is struggling with, patiently, but not his children. His son Al-Mu'izz has joined thousands of young protesters who have been marching for political change since December. A movement whose importance has led to disagreement between father and son.
What's the use of you going to those protests?
What use? It's for our freedoms. It's not just about the economy. We need political change in our country.
The generational rift within Abdu's family is seen even within the families of some of the members of the ruling class. Many of their children have also joined the protests, saying it's not just about economic or social status, but rather about the need for a liberal democracy that can transform Sudan into a prosperous and modern nation. Mohammed Val, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Here's the 3-day weather forecast. That's Channel 2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in Sunday morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and Monday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I am Bibi Baka signing out from your newscasting. Thank you for staying tuned and do have a blessed weekend.